Hey guys! It may still be morning for some of you, but for some of you it is lunchtime or afternoon. So hello, I'm just going to say happy Friday. It's right here in the middle of the day. Hope you guys have had an awesome week. I have something that I find to be very important to talk about with you guys today. So for those of you who don't know, I'm an online project manager and a productivity expert, and I work with people who are growing a business or an employee or a manager of a business that they are responsible for the tasks and the team and the growth of the company, or they're the business owner. And one of the things, sorry, I'm getting this shared, but one of the things that comes up consistently is delegating. It's a big issue in a lot of people's worlds. So I really want to touch on this and give you guys some like real advice on how to start delegating, not only to make your life easier and give you the time that you need to focus on the things that you need to do, but also to grow your business or be a better manager in general. So I just shared the live stream and I give it a minute to get broadcasted here. Cheers to you guys. So I did take a little some notes for this one because I think it's really important. So what I hear a lot when I'm working with my clients, whether it's a business owner, for example, like business owners will hire me to be a part of their team and manage their team, and then I'm there and they're like, I don't know what to give you, or I don't know how to delegate this to you, or they just really struggle with it. They're upset that they don't have the time, or that they're frustrated and they're trying to grow this business, and it's hindering their productivity, it's hindering their mood, it's hindering the growth of their business, whatever it may be, because they just don't either feel comfortable delegating, they don't know how to delegate or what to delegate. And there's a lot of factors that go into it. So I'm going to break these things down for you guys into some realistic action steps and things that you guys can do and take action on right away in your life, in your business, whatever position it is that you hold, that will really help you utilize this to scale things for yourself, really. And it's one of those things where I had a client actually explain it to me, that she said, a lot of people start their business and they're in this like super independent mindset, and which I have that. I mean, I am a super independent person. I always have been. So I get that. Like, I understand. And the thing is I want to do it all myself. Like, I need to have my hands involved in everything. That's how people think. But there's a way to do that. There's a way to be able to see what's going on throughout your entire business, but not have to be the one necessarily doing every single step and doing all of the actions that need to be taken on a daily basis. And it's really a mindset. Like, it's really something that you're just going to have to understand. Like, you want your business to go from A to B, but you only have so much capacity, or you only have so much bandwidth of yourself. Like, you're going to have to hire a staff, or you're going to have to allow someone else to help you reach that second level. Then this is a non-negotiable. It's one of those things people are like, well, I just don't want to do it. Okay, well, then you don't want it bad enough. Like, let's be honest really quick. Mentally, mindset wise, if you really want your business to get to that point that you keep talking about, then it doesn't matter. Like, this has to happen. So you have to figure it out and you have to make this work. So, this can be utilized in life when it comes to things within your household as well, like house cleaning and laundry and grocery shopping and cooking and that kind of shit too. But we're really going to talk about business today, and for entrepreneurs, for managers, for people that have a team underneath of them, or that need a team underneath of them in order to efficiently do their job and scale their business. So one of the big things is, if you look up, like when you hear the word delegate, one of the biggest things there is that you have to entrust a task onto another human being. So there's that word, trust. As a country, we don't trust very well. Just as like humanity doesn't trust other people very well, unfortunately. And it's just one of those things that, like, the mindset wise, you're going to have to get over it, because You have to do your due diligence to find the proper person to do that job, and then you have to trust that they can do it. And of course, by being responsible business owner or responsible manager, you're going to be able to see and ensure that they're doing their job. That's part of your responsibility. Or if you have like a business manager or a project manager, that's their responsibility to make sure that the other team members are doing their job. So the next thing, the big question is, how do I choose a team? Like, how do I find people I can actually trust or count on to do their jobs, or that are good at their jobs? Like, how do I make that happen? How do I find that? And the one thing is, there's a couple different things that people just don't seem to think about. Like, sure, there's a million websites out there. You can post an ad. You can go to Upwork and find a subcontractor. You can go to onlinejobs.ph and find a subcontractor. You can do this, but you don't know that person. You don't know that person from Adam. You don't know who that is. Like, one of my biggest things is, I don't want to have to teach you every single little bitty thing. If I'm going to hire somebody onto my team, I'd rather pay them a little bit more money because they have the skill set to do the job that I'm asking them to do. And I ask for recommendations. So from people that I know, if I know somebody that I have spoken to before and they have, an assistant, or they have a graphic designer, or whatever the case may be, I'll ask them for that person's information. Or do you have someone you would recommend for this type of service? And ask somebody that you trust in business, or as another manager, somebody that you know already has that position in place, or they may know of other professionals that can do that position really well. And if it's somebody that you have a relationship with, they're not going to send you a shitty person. They're not going to be like, oh, you should call up Jessica. She's great, when she's actually terrible. It's just not going to be what happens. So you really need to ask for recommendations from connections that you have, friendships, things like that. And then when you get on the phone with someone, or you're emailing with someone about them helping you in your business or joining your team, have them provide you with examples. Ask them specific questions. Make sure that they're answering your questions properly or efficiently, that they're actually giving you an example of what it is that you're looking for. One of the number one things when it comes to that is asking very specific questions. Mac, stop it. Sorry, my dog's being obnoxious back there. Is asking very specific questions, or giving very specific instruction, and seeing how they respond. Like, that's a number one red flag right there. If they can't follow simple instructions in your initial email conversation, then they're not going to be a good employee. So you just have to do your due diligence to find the proper person, and then you can entrust them and you can give them and delegate things to them. But you have to do just a little bit of legwork to begin with, really. Do research on them. Ask them for references. Sometimes I have people that come to me for me to manage their business, and they're like, can you give me a reference? Like, can you provide me with a client that you've worked with before, or something like that, so I can give them a testimonial, or I can give them the person's email address and they can reach out to them directly, or something like that. So those are all things that you can ask of this person that you're wanting to add on your team. What you have to realize is that you are going to be giving them money, first of all, to help you grow your business. You still own it. So you are completely entitled to ask these questions, to do the research and get the information that you need to feel that you trust this person and that they can join your team and it work for you. Like, so that's definitely something that you guys need to realize when it comes down to this. The next thing is what to delegate. Okay. So one of the things that I suggest is really looking at what is taking up the most time in your day. Like, you can look back at last week, you can look back at yesterday, just take a little time to think about it. Like, what's taking up the most time? Or what are the things that you're putting on your list every day that you're never actually getting to, that you're pushing them off and you're pushing them off and you're pushing them off? Prime example, creating type forms for things that I needed through the computer, I put off for like a month. I didn't absolutely have to have them, but I wanted them and I needed them to be made. It just wasn't time sensitive, and I pushed it off and pushed it off. As soon as I got an assistant, the first thing I did was like, hey, you can help me with this, because this is a task that is tedious to me, that I don't want to do, that you can easily do, and help me with. So that's a really good way to think of things that you can delegate. It is to look at tasks that you've been putting off. Look at tasks that are taking up the most time for you and see if someone can help you with it. Max, stop it, buddy. Come here. I have a very whiny pit bull. And it's raining outside, so he can't go out and play, so he's going to complain the whole time I'm talking. Anyways, so that's a really good way to think of things that you can delegate to someone. If you have like an assistant, or you need to, then you realize, okay, I'm spending a lot of time posting on social media. I'd rather just give somebody my ideas and let them post on it or something. I'm just coming up with random ideas, but you can then hire a professional that's their forte and have them help you with that. And then the next step though is being really clear on what you want. Being really clear on how you want them to do it, when you want it done, how you want it to look, that you want to review it, that you need it by this date. And that's a big thing. People will hire someone. Come here, Mac. Come here. Come here. People will hire someone to do this work, and then they will not give them clear instruction, and then they get pissed off when the person doesn't do it right. Well, hello, they can't read your freaking mind. Like, people can't read your mind. Bubba, you gotta stop. Come here. Come here. Look. Sorry. Go get that ball. So you have to be clear about what it is that you want. You have to be very transparent with people when you hire them onto your team. But there's a fine line there. I'm going to give you just a little quick tip on that. There's a fine line there. Being transparent and explaining to somebody, okay, I need you to do this, 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 and this, and this, is absolutely necessary. To explain to them every single reason why is not necessary. You're wasting your time. They may not need to know why. It doesn't matter why. Like, you're paying them to do that, so you need to just tell them what it is that you need them to do. I feel like a lot of people tend to feel the need to justify what they're delegating to someone, and it winds up taking a ton more time and then kind of defeating the purpose, in all honesty. So remember that there's kind of a fine line there. You need to stand in that place of the business owner or the manager, be that leader, and give the instruction. Be clear and concise on what it is that you want. Give deadlines always. Hey, can I get this back by Thursday? Or hey, I really need this done by the end of the week. Or can you get me the first draft by the 30th? Or whatever the case may be. You need to assign some sort of a timeline on it. Otherwise, that task will be pushed down to the end of the priority list. And you may not get it when you really want it. And then you're like, well, what the hell? I needed this. Well, if you didn't, tell them that in detail, then they can't read your mind. So put that in your list there in your brain, that when you're telling them, like who, what, when, and where, the when is really important. So you definitely need to make that clear. And then let your employee know, to ask questions, especially when you first hire them. You have to be patient and understand that they're getting to know your business just as much as you're getting to know them. So you need to be able to provide them the time that they need and the information that they need so that they can do their job properly for you. Because otherwise you're not going to utilize that human being and that money that you're spending to actually give you the benefit that you need. So that's really big there. Let's see here. A little time. Okay. So those are just three real quick things there. I'm not going to go into much more detail and then make this the longest live stream of life. But if you guys have any more specific questions and some more pointers, let me know. I really just want to leave you with this tip. So a lot of times when somebody is at the point where they're wanting to hire, unfortunately, people aren't necessarily super proactive with hiring help with their business or delegate things to. They're not super proactive there. So a lot of times you're standing in a place where you have a pile of shit on your plate and a ton of stuff to do, all these moving pieces in the air, and you're super overwhelmed and stressed, and you're like, oh my God, I just need to hire someone to help me. Ugh. Okay, so you do that, and then you have this person who wants to help you, but you don't take out the time to give them what they need. I mean, think about it. What are you doing? It's never going to change. Things are not going to change unless you take out the time to give them what they need. So remember, and please just understand that a little time spent up front will give you success in your team and in delegating. And it'll give you success in the growth. It'll give you the space that you're desiring, the space that you want and need in your business and in your time, so you can do the other things that you need to do. But you have to understand that you have to dedicate just a little bit of time at the beginning to set things up properly for them to flow right. People tend to forget that step, and then they get pissed when things don't work out properly. So just to step back really quick, you find a really good team, or find a good team member, somebody that you can trust. somebody that you know of their skills, and then go through and be transparent, be clear on who, what, when, where, how that you want, how you want it to look. Be very, very clear with them and up front. Be the leader that they need. Every team needs a leader, and that's just the truth. Mac, my goodness, I'm so sorry. I know that probably annoys me way more than it annoys other people, but he drives me bonkers when he cries like that. And he's crying for no reason. He just ate. He just went outside. He has water. He's just being a baby. Anyway, and then make sure that you go through and choose things that you can actually delegate to people to create more time for yourself, because for you to focus on other things. Like, that's the whole point. So remember that, and make sure that you know that you have to dedicate a little bit of time to these people and these tasks initially to get the systems set up and into place. If you're in a place where you don't want to deal with any of that shit, like, you can always hire a project manager. That's what I do, or like a business manager. Typically, like, I say project manager, but technically I'm managing people's businesses and their teams, not just their projects. And then you just have to talk to one person. You get to speak to me, give me all the information, everything that you want done and need done, and then I delegate it and I handle it. I help you realize what you can delegate. Like, I have a client that I go through with her in detail what she can delegate, what she can't delegate, and what she should spend her time on, and blah, 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 blah. And then we break it down and I send it out. But there, though, you have to be willing to communicate with that lead person and let them then trickle down the tasks if that's what you would prefer. It's an option. There's definitely an option there. But anyways, to each their own. Everyone will choose the path that they want when it comes to how they build their team. But these are just some tips that you guys can start using right away when it comes to actually delegating tasks and de-stressing all of this workload that you have on your plate right now, so you can actually start being efficient and moving, like, onward and upward instead of, like, sitting in this stagnant place where nobody likes to be, right? So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Totally appreciate that. And you can share it if you like the content. And I try to do live streams a few times a week. So stay tuned for more, like, business tips and things like that if you have questions, or there are other things that you'd like me to cover in, like, the business management, organization, productivity realm. Let me know and I will make sure to cover it for you. I always like getting feedback. So thanks, guys, and I will talk to you soon. Have a great rest of your day, and go kick ass this afternoon and this weekend.